Good morning, Jim.
Here he is,
James P. Norton.
our representative
From Comic-Con.
from Comic-Con. I just heard a few short details.
It was fun actually, but you know how it is. Did you do the whole thing on $40? Do you need hotels, or do you mind sleeping in the parking lot outside the? Jesus,
That's why we don't step up to do anything, because they just don't know how to do it right.
is Sam here today?
Huh?
Is Sam? Okay. So
Oh, yeah, Sam's here.
Yeah.
Sam has hinted that there may have been some issues with the Comic-Con. Not because of you or him.
We're the con people. They were very nice.
Right. It was just maybe setting up things in advance and whatnot that might have been the problem.
Like when we went to check in, and he had a press pass, and they couldn't find mine, and then they said, "Oh, you're an attendee," and they looked at my paper, and it said attendee on it in big letters.
Oh my God!
And the email address it came from was, I believe, our own Steve Carlisi.
Oh no! Why did you get attendee?
Why wouldn't I? Because I guess it would be too easy to have two press passes.
Why?
Well, here comes Steve.
But Steve, I have to say, in Steve's defense, it looks like the con screwed up because I emailed him back, but it looks like it was their screw up. But they fixed it. They were so nice
Oh, it
right
was
there.
resolved?
Dude, it was like, why isn't life like this? I talked to the guy, and he goes, "Yeah, you're listening as an attendee," and he goes, "All right, well, we'll just fix it." And they fixed it. It was like there was no problem.
Oh, okay, that's good.
No, he
Was he supposed to have a press pass?
yeah, and per the confirmation email I got the day before he flew out, he had one. So, and in the email correspondence that I followed up with, they said, "Oh, our bad. We'll fix
Boring.
it." Yeah.
But wait, where did it say? It said attendee at one of the emails. Where did it say
I'll have to look. I
attendee?
don't know. I'll find it.
Could you print out? Maybe Sam can hear it because it said in the big one attendee.
Attendee.
It didn't look like press at all.
Isn't everyone there an attendee?
And oh yeah, that was
I mean,
also
what the fuck is?
that was. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but the response I got was, it doesn't matter if he's an attendee or has a press pass, he's still waiting on the same line. That was almost verbatim.
Oh,
the
interesting.
The same piece of correspondence I got.
It's not true though.
No.
All right. Well, Sam's in studio. See, if you don't know, Sam and Jim Norton flew out to San Diego for Comic-Con.
Separately, because I was already out there.
Separately, yes.
right.
Oh, because you did
Yes.
Jay Leno.
Well, I drove from San Diego. I didn't want to cost the company more money, so I actually rented a car in L.A. I let them bring my rental car, and I drove to San Diego.
Oh, how was the drive?
It was good, except the fucking 5 was closed.
I-5 was. That's the main fucking freeway.
That's the main way to
Why
San Diego.
would it be
from
open at
LA?
1 in the morning? And I said, let me get the fucking GPS and all that. So they bring me the car. The GPS is in Spanish. So
Well, you are in Southern California.
I don't know how to fucking fix it. So I spent 20 minutes in the driveway of the London hotel.
Learning Spanish?
Dude. How do you say don't pipe me in the head-o? And then I get it, and I'm riding around literally for 40 minutes in L.A. I'm like, where the fuck am I? There's no highways. I'm riding around Tent City. There's homeless people.
shit.
I turned around to go back towards the police station, and the fucking homeless guy is screaming, "Wrong way!" I'm going the wrong way down a one-way street, and then I realized it had been set by the fucking scumbags at Enterprise for avoid all highways.
Oh my
shit.
God!
That'll
what
get
the
you killed.
In Spanish and avoid all highways, they have to be getting paid off by gangs, so that the people that rent the cars just go into these awful neighborhoods.
Dude, it was so... Why would you ever want to avoid highways when driving?
Yeah. And
I don't
how
know,
could
that's-
I-5 be closed?
It was closed. It was something going on. So I'm driving. I'm like, fuck it. I finally got on the road. Literally almost an hour into my trip, I'm driving. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. I figure, fuck it. And then all of a sudden, the 5 is closed. So it was probably a good half-hour delay, but I finally got to the hotel.
But you saved the company a good $200-300, so they must be happy about that, huh?
Yeah, actually like $600. I was a fucking good egg. It would have been expensive to fly me down.
Damn.
And Sam?
Well, the problem with the passes was the email. You have to print out an email. They send you a confirmation. You print it out. They scan the barcode on the email. They print out your pass.
There you go.
So
Future.
me and Norton go in. We each have separate desks, and I handed mine to my desk, and he handed his to his desk. 30 seconds later, I walked over to his desk with my pass and looked at him like, what's the holdup? And they sent him to another desk, and then another desk, and then another desk. And at the third desk, we looked at my paper, and it said Sam Roberts, and then the barcode, and then in big bold letters, press. And then on his email, it said Jim Norton, and then the barcode, and then in big bold letters, attendee.
Attendee.
Who printed that out? You printed that out.
Yeah, I got it the morning of from
Okay.
Steve.
Jimmy's more famous than 95% of the fucking acts going to Comic-Con.
I was just editing our big interview with Gil Gerard. So.
Wow.
Oh, we got the exclusive.
You got Buck Rogers? Oh, bad, huh? I can't wait. I was very excited at your Sigourney Weaver picture.
I was happy about
That is very cool.
That's
that
pretty
was
cool.
that was really cool because what happens is we got set up with a bunch of interviews.
Yeah.
What happened was Liam scrambled last minute. Liam really did a good job. Honestly, dude. He last minute they put a gun to his head and got him on the case. And he really did work hard for us. And got us a bunch of interviews. We got a couple of sit-down
One-on-ones?
round tables.
Round tables.
Well, the one-on-ones, yeah, but they're with people we've spoken with. The round tables were good, like when we get to the... Wait, how do you want to describe the first round table?
Well, I mean,
Besides not a round table.
I was just editing the audio. What was great was you were able to describe it, and we recorded it so well. But it was we turned out. It was a parking lot party for the movie Machete.
Yeah.
And before the party, they were all. It was Michelle Rodriguez, Robert Rodriguez, and Danny Trejo, all doing one-on-ones, and then a round table. We were booked for the round table. Unfortunately, the round table was long and rectangular, and had 3 rows of lawn chairs behind it for bloggers to sit on, and scream questions at tape recorders that were put on the table.
Yeah. It was for the written press. Like,
Yeah, print media.
we didn't get... There was no way to do audio.
No.
There was no way to do audio there. But that was it. You know what? This round table, we made something out of it the best we could.
Yes.
And then the next one we did was a round table for the...
For the movie Paul.
Paul.
Oh, Uncle?
Believe me, there was a few of those.
Piped up a few times.
You walk into a conference room, there's 2 round tables on opposite ends of the room, and they say there's going to be like 12 people at each one, including cast members. And no microphones or anything. And we realize we're the only ones that have audio equipment. So we
There's
asked
no
one-
mic. Nobody has a mic or a mic flag. Again, just
Right.
throwing a tape recorder down on the table.
bloggers. So we got close to the cast. There was one moment where it was, who came over the first shot? It was Jeffrey Tambor, Sigourney Weaver,
Yeah.
And
And Bill Hader.
Bill Hader, and who I guess was on our show. He remembered us, and some other. Who's the other guy?
I don't remember his name. He was in Wet Hot American Summer and Superbad.
And they sat down for about 15 minutes and we talk. But I'm such a jerk off because I have to sit there with a mic and just kind of hold it in their direct. Help! You can't hear a word they're saying.
Well, yeah, because and the thing is, I was sitting there with the recorder boosting levels, so you can hear what they're saying, but you also
Ambient noise.
It was for Sam said it right. We were there. He goes, "This is for bloggers who will go back over the audio and go, what did he say?" No, bloggers.
Okay.
We'll listen to the audio and go and then transcribe it. So for that, it was great.
Sure.
and the thing, the reason we know we were right about that it wasn't like, some print media, some radio media is, we were sitting at the table, and a girl comes down without knowing anything, sits down next to Jim and says, "So who do you write for?"
Who do you write for?
Who do you write for?
Ah.
Write for Jim Norton.
Yeah.
You've read my books.
She hadn't.
She
And Jim was like, he was sitting at the Machete thing. He was in the back of all the bloggers. And he's getting recognized. Like somebody wants a picture with him, but at the same time is looking at him.
It was
competing with writers from...
humiliating.
What are you doing here?
Dude, humiliating.
Oh yeah, one of the
no.
the guys who was setting up the party was like, "Are you in this?"
Like, are you in the movie? No, I'm just here with
the
you
bloggers.
Humiliating.
This just shows you what kind of a soldier Jimmy is.
He did well.
It was.
You're more famous than the people you were trying to interview.
Well, not on that one. They were like
Well, I
legit.
mean,
and we've,
in general, though.
what drove me nuts is we've had Robert Rodriguez on the show. He was a great guest when we had him on.
Oh, yeah, he was.
Danny Trejo, I know, would have been great. Michelle Rodriguez was very nice, but to not be able to get a one-on-one with like Robert Rodriguez, it's like we've already interviewed him.
Yeah.
And then there was fucking There was cameras talking to the camera. They were doing one-on-ones.
Yeah, they did
we were
them.
watching them do one-on-ones. Do you understand what it's almost like we were watching a hot chick suck dicks. And then we were at the table where we get to jerk off and look at her.
And Jim goes, no, I mean, he was like, maybe, yeah, that is the round table. Maybe there's a mistake. Let's call the person setting this up now just to make sure. And I said, okay. And
It had to be a mistake. This couldn't be it.
And I was like, hey, Sam Roberts with Jim Norton, and we're here. And she was like, okay, great. And I was like, okay, well, where should we go? And she goes, you see you're here. I go, yeah. And she goes, you see the long table with all the white chairs behind it? Yeah, just find a chair. Okay, so
no
that
special
is,
treatment.
that is
all right.
So who gets the one-on-ones?
TV.
I'm sure there was other radio. It was a lot of TV, but
Yeah.
we should have had certain certain ones. Again, you're not going to get.
Who do we get to blame for this?
Well,
Get to blame.
Who do we get to blame
I
for
will
this?
say who you can't blame. Liam. Liam was great. I mean, I got to say, Liam, fucking guy, man. We had nothing.
We didn't even have round tables before.
We had nothing lined up until they basically put a shotgun at Liam's large head, and it is an awful head, Liam. It's fucking Philip Seymour Hoffman-ish. And he busted his ass, and he got us a lot of things.
But who do we blame for having nothing going into this?
It's hard to say if it's one person or if it's just a weird. We don't give a shit if these guys are out there or not. I don't know, dude. It's so weird. Like it's like when a riot starts. Who started the riot? You don't know. It's like everybody's all of a sudden, 1 minute people are walking, and the next minute there's 19 dead Germans. Who the fuck knows what happened? You don't know.
Can I get a short list of names together in my head?
Sure.
You know who I'm thinking?
Oh,
Are we
boy.
thinking the same people?
Yes, probably. Probably. But the frustration. Like, we finally got. We did get to talk.
I mean, you guys jumped right in. I want to know about the flights out there, the separate flights.
It was great. I don't know if you want
flying
to
in the middle of the night to save
wait for us to tell all the
$200.
stories when you have the audio. It's almost done.
You might want to wait for the. You're right. You might want to
Really?
wait for the
Because it was
audio.
literally every single step of the way, Jim and I realized we are fending for ourselves out here.
You're just alone. There's no
nothing
support.
set up. We are just, from the minute I arrived in San Diego and Jim was already there,
Who was the point person?
there was...
each other.
Sounds like they almost had to eat each other to survive.
Dude, it was.
But who was the point person here?
What point person?
I guess we were talking. I mean, the guy I talked to before I came out was Gary. I guess was if there was a point person, it was probably. And I'm not throwing Gary to the bus. I mean, it
So
was.
he must have figured that everything was all set.
He
for
sent
you
it. He
guys
did. He
out there in
was.
San
He
Diego,
was
right?
He was texting me throughout, just making sure Norton and me were.
But did he set up
alive.
stuff in advance?
Well, the stuff that they set up in advance. I'll say this: the hotel at first we were really annoyed about, but it was booked like a month in advance.
They don't even like the hotel.
The hotel.
But I have to say
What's
this:
wrong with the hotel, or do we have to wait for the audio?
there is no audio at the hotel. It was close.
What was wrong with the hotel?
The fact that I had no curtains, it was just blinds. Dude, it was. But let me say, hold on. It was a Hyatt. It wasn't bad, and it was 10 minutes away. And literally to book the hotel, it was so frustrating because there's no hotels around. And then we drive down to the convention center.
Oh, that was where, because the hotel was a problem when we thought we had to be in walking distance.
Sam, you can speak openly because you're on the air with us.
Well, we
'Cause I know
realized.
I could tell you're a little nervous.
No,
They'll still love you down the hall, but I mean, we got to get this out there for the people.
as we drove in Jim Norton's fancy PT Cruiser. Oh yeah,
The PT Cruiser.
we hopped in the cruiser.
Yeah, that was one I didn't know until I got downstairs at the London through Enterprise. They had the old pussy wagon waiting for me.
The white cruiser.
Yeah, the white PT Cruiser. Nothing says success.
But we
PT Cruiser, nice.
we got to the convention center, and we were like, where are we supposed to go from here?
To park.
So we just drove all the way to the convention center, and we said, oh, there's permit parking. But they informed us when we got there that, first of all, I think the cops were fucking with us because they kept sending us in all different directions
Yeah.
to park.
They had nothing better to do but watch people, and the traffic was so fucking bad.
I would
Because
imagine.
there was a Westboro protest. The Baptist Church was there. We hate God hates fags.
Sure.
What? What were they
They
protesting
need
that
attention. They need attention. Who knows?
God.
But
Idiots.
so there's a parking lot right under the convention center, and so we pulled in front of it and said, hey, how can we get in here? and they said, well, you needed to get parking permits. Now we're sold out.
Yeah, we don't have anything.
So how do you get the parking permits ahead of time?
You purchase them.
You probably have to buy them in advance, I would say.
But who buys them in advance?
Again, the forward crew there.
I'll tell you who doesn't.
point
Jim
men.
and Sam.
But who should have bought the parking permit for you?
Well, I mean, I
Or
guess
knew about it?
Jim and I assumed that somebody else might have somewhat looked into
someone
some
from-
details of this trip.
Assumption.
that's-
You made an
So,
assumption.
You're assuming someone from here should have looked into all this stuff before you guys flew out there?
Or at least one
Yeah.
or two
Who would that
things.
person be?
I don't know.
Who do we blame on that one?
I don't know who's responsible.
Whose skill set is lacking?
Oh, dude, the fucking toolbox was empty. We and then we're riding around, and literally the
So
traffic is.
where'd you have to park because you didn't have a nice permit
Well,
parking?
there were no lots available. Like, there's a lot of public lots
So-
in San Diego.
So a bunch of bloggers had it all figured out way better
Let's put,
than
there was 150,000 people in this city for Comic-Con.
Yes.
This is not a city that had, like, we could, and it was suggested that we get in a cab, but we would have to get on a line with 1,000 people
Yeah,
that
you
were
could-
waiting for cabs.
You couldn't get a cab.
And so the only reason that we went to this convention at all is because we went past the San Diego Padres parking lot, which was closed, it looked
It
like.
was closed.
And we rolled down the window, and Jim said, "Is there any place to park around here?" And the guy was about to say, "Oh no," he said, "Where's the entrance to this lot?" And the guy was obviously about to say, "Well, we're not really taking cars," but he goes, "Hey, aren't you Jim Norton? I've read your books."
Get the fuck out of here.
The guy, it was probably 10 blocks away, which was fine. San Diego, it's a very 10 easy blocks. It was.
Yeah, it was.
'Cause every lot was sold out. All these public lots, they all sold the fuck
So
out.
you had nowhere to park.
This was
You probably would have had to park a mile or two away and walk and hoof it in.
Dude, there was public parking. It was 15-minute parking. Like, you couldn't do it in the street.
Jesus.
And this was for the Padres premier fans. I guess these are for people, because we're right by the Padres ballpark there.
Sure.
So the guy was an old guy who recognized me from reading my book. And he's raving about me, and they waved me in, him and this other lady, and the guy, the manager of the place, happens to be there. So the guy goes, "Hey, here's a couple passes." He gives us passes for the next 2 days. And says, "Just show this, tell me you're a friend of mine, and you can park here for free." So that was how we
Yeah, it
got
was
to
amazing.
park.
And then it
Good
was
luck.
like, it was as if somebody had set up something real nice for us.
Yeah. Yeah. We're like, oh, this is what would have happened had there been work done in the beginning. You just pull it in, there's a spot for you.
Yeah.
If you do the work ahead of time.
Right.
Before you guys actually drive to the airport to fly out there.
So we finally got parking that way, and we finally got in. But there was one point when we got there to see after the traffic, like, and nowhere to park, and then there's no press pass for me. I was probably 2 minutes away from. I said to Sam, like, if this doesn't work out, I'm going to literally just get in the car and go to the airport.
Especially when he told
I'm
me,
leaving.
when they said, "No, this says attendee." He was like, "We couldn't find a parking spot. You know, the
Parking-
hotel has blinds."
Blinds, a fucking room. No, it's just. I had, dude.
And then this badge says
have
attendee.
internet?
We did. I bought tinfoil. I was going to tape tinfoil over my windows like Elvis in the fucking hotel. But again,
Jimmy likes it dark in his hotel room,
Yes.
too. So.
but dude, I took a picture. I'll show you the picture of what it was like in the morning. I hung blankets. Oh, is the picture there?
The internet sucks at dick in this place
But they,
for whatever reason.
San Diego people are fucking nice, dude. They're problem solvers. I called down and complained. I come back up and something's weird in my room, and I realized they had come in and they had put brown paper, like the thing that Luca Brazzi's vest came in.
Yeah, that heavy brown butcher
That
paper.
brown butcher paper, and they taped it to all of my windows for me.
Wow.
So it kept about 75 to 80% of the light out. So with the blankets I had rigged, they were I was unable to sleep. But the people in San Diego were very fucking nice, man.
So the hotel was a little weird. No parking set up.
Yeah, no blinds. But again, I have to
Jimmy
say,
gets an attendee pass.
they did the best they could with the Kenny. I think. Did you get the hotel?
This is like,
Okay.
this is like, I don't know, whatever. This is like small town radio shit.
That is.
You know, it's a Radisson, so it's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
The things that we had the problems with was the fact that the round tables were for bloggers.
And you thought the round tables would give you a little one-on-one time with some big people, right?
I did pull audio from the round tables, though, so we got the scoops.
Just so you don't think that we're exaggerating, And there was one point where I had to just kind of narrate what was happening
Oh, Jesus Christ.
We'll get into
at
that
the table. Yeah,
when we have the audio. But bloggers Jim didn't see them, but they kept turning around and getting like passive aggressive. They didn't say anything to him, but they were
Why
all
would
pissed
they?
because they were leaning in, trying to hear what the actors were saying, and Jim was just narrating what a horrible experience this whole thing was.
Wait to hear the audio.
From the back. I was doing it quietly like that.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
But it's a fun event, dude. It's like I enjoyed the event itself, but you know, it would have been nicer.
It needed to be set up a little more before you guys.
And we got to Gil
Headed out.
Gerard interview ourselves. That was
that's
not.
good.
That was
we-
us.
That was
You
us.
That
pulled
was,
off the Gil
dude,
Gerard.
the fucking line is he killed Gerard. You actually had to walk up and say hi to him. Yeah, boy. Oh, boy.
There are some really sad moments when you go.
Nadia from Lost, right up.
Really?
Got a picture, so many
You
of them.
did.
But there's not as many of those signings here because it's an expensive booth. Like
Yeah,
Chiller
yeah.
Theater probably has a lot more because I think it's a little more affordable.
Yeah.
You got to pay to get the booth, obviously, right?
Yeah, so
then
we,
you gotta make up
So there were-
scratch.
Who else was just sitting there by themselves waiting for people to show
Oh,
up?
Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man, was there
Again?
Thursday through Sunday, and Norton and me, when we walked past him, had to avoid eye contact because him and Virgil, who were there together, both would try to lock eye contact and then try to get you to feel guilty and walk over.
Don't they realize?
Is that an actual picture from this year? No. Oh, that's a past picture?
But every
All right.
time we've seen pictures of them at any event, there's no one waiting for
chilling.
them or just getting anything signed.
You know who recognized the logo, the what's it called, the flag,
The
the white
Mike
flag? We were introducing. I wanted to get I don't mind paying them $20 for a picture. I really, because again, a lot of them aren't working. I'm fine with that. Was Lacey Underall from Caddyshack?
Lacey.
I thought that was a fun one. Yeah.
Yes.
She was pushing hard to get booked on this show.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
She's-
Really?
30th anniversary of Caddyshack.
Today, I think.
Wow.
Oh, is it today?
Either today or yesterday, right
Oh,
around now.
Jesus
it might have been
Christ.
yesterday, 30 years ago.
But her
Caddyshack
friend's a
was
huge
the-
fan. She's like, I've been hearing about you guys all constantly because like one of her friends are really.
From Lacey?
Yeah, what's her name? Cindy something. She was actually, you know, she's a little older, but her tits look great. She was pretty sexy. Yeah.
I saw her on a biography show they did on the making of the movie, and she didn't look all that bad.
No, she looks good.
But how many years ago was that?
Yeah, well. No, I think it was
Can I see
relatively new.
You got your picture of her?
I might have it. Actually.
I have to see what she looks like now.
Yeah.
She
Yes,
fucking-
because you remember
The frustrating thing is there's some one-on-ones that we could have done because there were people. Had we gotten into the press room, there was these major.
where you should have been.
There was
You
major
guys should have had like a red carpet to whatever you wanted.
Yeah.
red
Yes.
carpet. Red carpet. I would have taken a
telling you.
dirty brown shag. I would have taken any carpet. We had gravel and bare feet. You shitheads. Wait.
Jesus.
My favorite thing
Should have
was
been
to
VIP treatment all the way.
go on Google News
All the way.
after we got home to figure out all the celebrities that had been there that day because we didn't see any of them.
You didn't see any celebrities? And when did you have to fly out, Sam?
Fly back home or go to San Diego?
Yeah.
Norton and me jumped on our red eyes on Saturday night.
Saturday night because
The
nothing.
airport was
could be worse.
quiet as a mouse.
I've never seen an airport.
Why
with
would you have to leave Saturday night?
Well, why would you want? Who wants to stay till Sunday morning? Because then you get to see the Saturday night event.
Yes.
But they actually, I think they saved.
well,
there
why
was,
fly out there if they're cutting your visit short?
well, because it was the room rate was a little cheaper to get us checked out.
They saved
half a
literally
day.
they saved $180 flying us out early.
no, how much? All right, let's slow down.
For me,
You guys went out there for the weekend, but they forced you to leave Saturday night instead of staying for the Saturday night stuff for Comic-Con.
yeah,
Why? To save a few bucks?
to save half a day rate on the hotel.
So, and how much would that have been?
For me, $180. That's
I
pretty.
think for
that's a
me
lot of
about
money.
the same thing. Like the total for my room was probably $360, $370 because the hotels sell out 6 months in advance.
So to save $400, you guys had to miss Saturday night's activities at Comic-Con.
It's $400 though.
Oh, but then they'll turn around. Don't get me going. Then they'll turn around and make a deal that's so completely ridiculous with somebody that no one gives a shit about. That's her.
Yeah.
It's unrecognizable.
She doesn't look the same, but I mean that was 30 years ago. She looks. I mean, she's like as a woman, she looks. And that's still.
She's a good-looking woman.
She
but
is, yeah.
I
This
this
can't even tell it's her. Like,
no, I can't tell.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah, she
that's
looks a little-
weird.
She looks a little different.
I'm not saying she looks ugly or anything. She's a good-looking woman,
Yeah.
but I can't believe that's the same one. You sure they didn't switch them out?
Oh, no. Yeah, different Lacey's. She was the 4 o'clock Lacey. Yeah, she...
So to save money, you guys had to do a red eye.
Yeah.
And I'm sure flying the red eye saves money for the company, too.
Well, I actually saved money for the company. I saved money for the company because I was supposed to do the Tonight Show a week before, but literally they did Leno did an SB's thing, so they're like, we want to move you back a week. So I happened to go out there the day before.
Right.
So the Tonight Show flew me out. And I didn't want to wax serious for so I'm like, fuck it, let's the Tonight Show fly me out because I'm already there, and then you guys fly me back. So they saved half the airfare that way.
But see, at that point,
You're making up for it, so give them the
Right,
hotel
right,
and have them
exactly.
stay
Thank
for the
you,
Saturday
Anthony.
night festivities.
Logically, you're already ahead of the game, so do the right thing and let these guys sleep in San Diego Saturday night and go to the airport first thing Sunday.
By then there were no flights. Big
Kev is checking in. Was Big Kev out there?
We did
No.
not see him. No.
Big Kev, you weren't out there?
No, for the first time in 8 years, I didn't go.
Okay.
Kev, you would have been a good guy to be out there with because Kev knows how to navigate these things, and he knows the right people. We were both saying how much we kind of wished you were out there.
No, you really need to turn those table situations into one-on-ones, and that's the real trick there because since you're not a TV outlet, they don't give they don't really give a terrible amount of a crap about you. So, you have to kind of make those situations happen.
And I think a good example, if you could pull up the Samuel L.
That's a
Jackson
good
interview.
point.
That is a prime example of how you turn these things. You take the lemons and you make cat piss out of it.
There were press rooms to get into, by the way, and Sam noticed this too. There were guys. They had panels in like these 4,000 seat halls. They had some good panels, like the Expendables panel.
Yeah.
Was good. Like on that one was Couture, was Stone Cold, Stallone, Bruce Willis, fucking Jean-Claude. Who was it? Van Damme?
No, it was Dolph Lundgren.
Dolph Lundgren. All these people, and of course we got nowhere. We had Randy Couture booked, but literally he was running late, and then we had to leave to interview Penn Jillette. So he would have done us, but it was literally just a traffic issue.
Yeah,
it wasn't Randy.
Yeah.
But it's like, how did we not get in the press room? Stallone has a lot of his own money involved in the Expendables. He was doing a lot of different
You
things.
should absolutely have been in that room.
Well, who do we blame for that?
Those things are booked so far in advance that if you're not part of the initial setup, I mean, if Liam got you into anything,
Wow.
God bless Liam because
I got into some
you
rooms
can't
in
get
07.
Anything there.
Yeah, Sam got into some rooms in 07. This is the thing. When
It's a whole different animal now.
He went out there in 07 for K-Rock. And no, Liam did actually do a good job. And I'm not just being polite. He really did scramble because no one had done anything for it. Literally, there was nothing done for us before that as far as getting people. And Liam fucking busted his ass and made something out of it. The trip would have been a disaster had Liam not stepped up.
Yeah.
Was
He
it
would
his
have just
job?
been interviewing people in Batman costumes all weekend.
It wasn't his job to set it up ahead of time, right?
Well, he didn't. No, he didn't. He hadn't been put on the case, I guess. When he was put on the case, he did a great job.
I did mention.
Why was he put on the case?
I don't know.
I did mention.
I can't wait for these mics to go off to get the real story.
When this whole thing started.
Oh, I know.
When the whole
responsibility
idea popped up, I did mention to people that we really need to. One of the key aspects
on
of doing
this.
this trip would be, but they had to wait for sponsor money. They weren't going to book us anything if they didn't have sponsor money because they weren't sure we were going until about 2 weeks before the.
Yes, so
event.
And by then, Big has probably right. They were all booked. But again, we still could have. I guarantee you, we talked. I don't want to say what friend I talked to, who has certain friends out there, but he was telling us where a buddy of ours who used to work for the show kind of knew where everybody was at any given time.
Of course he did.
And
Sounds like a guy who could have gotten me into rooms in 2007.
yeah, exactly.
And again, we couldn't have. I'm not saying we could have gotten a 20-minute sit down with Bruce Willis. Again, TV has that advantage over radio, but there's a line between what TV and Fox and NBC can get and bloggers. We should have been in between there.
But you're also downplaying the radio thing. We're one of the biggest radio shows in the country.
Without a doubt. And
so, I mean, that should have some kind of pull out there.
Well, if it's told to the right people.
If the right people are working.
Because there are guys.
The fact that one of the biggest radio shows is going to be at Comic-Con, someone that understands how to work that.
And even like those guys aside, there are people that know the like Jonah Hill came in here and he remembered the show when he did the show just recently. He was out there.
So we didn't get near Jonah Hill.
Tina Fey was out there. Seth Rogen.
Tina knows me. Seth, we've had in.
I've had all these people.
We couldn't
on
get one-on-ones with Joel McHale. We couldn't get one-on-ones.
Holy shit!
No, here's what we did.
Joel's done our show 10 times easy.
There was another round table that day scheduled for Chevy Chase, Joel McHale for Community.
Yes.
And I canceled it. I said no. I could not go through the humiliation of sitting there with a bunch of bloggers. And look, no disrespect to people that blog. Okay, that's what you do. But to be with a guy who we've had on the fucking show.
Exactly.
And who I've seen, socially and different, just bumped into. It would have been too humiliating to sit there. Because literally, I was sitting next to Jeffrey Tambor in the first one. I'm holding a microphone, and Sigourney Weaver's next to him, and there was no way to stick the mic in her face. So I just kind of had to lean it. You just kind of edge it out towards people.
You know, one of those NFL parabolic mics they use on the sideline to get their call.
And in terms of like fighting with the other bloggers, like in Jim's defense, I would say that some of the people might have noticed he was on the Tonight Show that week, and so you can't sit at a round table and start trying to push bloggers
when you're on the Tonight Show that
like, you
week
shouldn't be competing with
and
these
actually
people.
doing like an interview segment.
It's the same at a different con.
It's like what?
Oh yeah, that was from the
inventor thing.
But I don't mind. It's not even an inflated sense of self. And honestly,
No. It's what it is.
We should have had one-on-ones with certain people.
Joel McHale.
Joel McHale.
But seriously, who sets that up ahead of time? I'm still confused.
I think
You get on a press list way in advance.
No, it's not. You need a talent booker that knows people, has relationships with a person that can say, "Hey, buddy, Norton, just tell Joel," or who can call Joel and say, "Hey, Joel, you remember Norton? He's coming down."
Oh yeah. We'll set something up.
Yeah, you
We're going to sound like a broken record, but that's why we like our old pal Roland. Cause
he can do that stuff?
He worked for the show personally.
He can do that.
He had a vested interest in us personally and made sure that we were taking care of it, which brought big-time celebrities to our show, which made our show better, but for some reason they don't understand that's still down the hall.
What you need is someone to call up, because, again, some of the publicists...
And the sad part is they have a position open here at SiriusXM, and they still won't hire our pal Roland, which we know will do a much better job booking the show for us, because he'll have our personal interest.
Yeah. And it's, again, sometimes you have to let the publicists know, because they don't, like the West Coast publicists, a lot of them don't know the show as much because it wasn't on terrestrial. So what you need is someone to call them and go, look, these guys have it's a massive audience. It's a very large listening audience. They give you a good, whatever. Just someone to call them and they go, oh, all right, we've heard of those guys. We kind of heard they were dicks. Are they okay? You know what I mean? Someone is smooth, because sometimes the reputation is unjustified.
Yeah, true.
And we know that. So it's like you kind of want someone just to smooth it out a little bit and go, look, these guys will be here. Stallone, someone tells, because he had
was on our phone,
Dude,
on our show. He loved it too.
On the show, he stayed longer than he was supposed to. He enjoyed the interview.
He loved it.
And he's fucking got a lot of his own money in this film. He absolutely, I think, could have been gotten had he been pursued with anybody saying, look, these guys really will.
We're not talking to his audience though. A movie like Expendables.
You're right, because why would the Opie and Anthony audience?
Yeah.
You're right. There's no male demo here.
Nah, not at all.
That's right. Get them on.
This would not be a good place for a Sylvester Stallone interview.
To be fair, there's no reason to paint a negative cloud over the whole trip. Again, later in the show, exclusives with Gil Gerard and Bob the Angry Flower. So just everybody just
Bob
stop.
the Angry Flower.
And
I have no doubt you guys, did great out there. Obviously,
I don't want to. I hate to say it in advance, but just to keep people listening, the Morgan Fairchild.
That's right. Exclusive.
Wow.
Exclusive.
Oh well. Oh, your teeth hurt.
Morgan Fairchild.
Was there is there a blogger hierarchy? Did you notice like certain bloggers
Absolutely,
like a little better than the other ones? Are like, look how look who I write for.
I didn't notice who they were with because they all just threw their recorders on the table. Only at the round table did one guy, who was a nice enough guy, they told us who they wrote for.
Yeah.
Pretty big blogging sites, but we didn't. At the Robert Rodriguez round table, the outdoors one, we were trying to get
Bagpipes
audio.
in the background.
Yeah, we're outdoors in a parking lot. And the machete party was cool. They had the stars there. But
Yeah. Real fucking stars.
we couldn't get one-on-ones with them.
No.
And meanwhile, if they're promoting a Comic-Con in a parking lot, they're doing some real promotion for the film.
Danny Trejo was wearing his costume from the movie.
Yeah, that is really...
He was promoting the
That is
movie.
pushing for the movie. Absolutely.
He had a vest on with fake knives on it. He was
When do we get to hear this audio?
soon.
Very soon?
Danny,
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Is that
I'm-
picture up? I'm sorry, Sam. Is that picture up or no? That my Twitter. I think I took a picture of. What was it a picture of that I took?
I don't know. You probably have a shitload of pictures up there from Comic-Con.
No, but I had one with.
Trejo.
No. Yeah, I did meet Trejo, but I'm trying to see where the. Oh yeah, okay. I got a picture of.
Oh yeah.
You can see that's where we were supposed to be. You see those chairs?
Oh, my
I think
God.
I think Y Frog is down because I can't get to any of your pictures.
Okay.
And we flip cammed
Opie.
everything too.
There's-
So we recorded the the experience of trying to.
Oh, you are like sitting in the back.
It's like, how do you get audio for a radio show in that
You
situation?
can't.
Wait, this is your seat?
Oh yeah, any one of those seats, and the tables between.
This is your perspective.
Yeah.
This is where you're sitting.
Well, we could have sat in that third row. There was like 3 rows of chairs, but there was no microphone set up by the talent, which is not the actor's fault, but there's
Yeah.
no microphones.
Norton went to the
that's
bathroom,
odd.
and I go, Jim, do you want me to grab us a couple seats? And he looked at me and said, no.
I wasn't going to sit there and attempt to
No.
get. There was no way to get audio.
Now, why wouldn't there be a, they go through all this to get the celebrities there and everything. Why wouldn't there be like a PA, just a
Because-
small PA system, even though it's bloggers and stuff like, so
It's not worth spending the money on it because they don't need to hear their questions, so they don't need to mic themselves. All they all pushed their chairs up as close to the table as they could.
Holy shit.
And literally all 3 rows crowded the table. And then they just started shouting questions. And they weren't concerned, and they shouldn't have been because they had their tape recorders, they put them right on the table in
Yes.
front of them.
And they just have a list of their questions. Later on, they can just
They just
look at their
go listen to the
questions
sound bites and throw in a quote to their article.
Right.
And listen to everybody else's question. Because, you guys both, all 3 of us asked questions.
Yeah,
You got
yeah.
all 3 on tape, and then you can just write an article.
You write an
There
article.
were people at the
It's-
round tables that didn't ask one question. They were just recording it because they got their quotes.
That's it.
So,
Unfortunately, and I guess we could get. We don't really have any sound bites because
Why can't you just read quotes?
we could read some quotes from. But no, we did.
God.
We've been talking about this for 40 minutes. What was the point of going out there?
really? Holy shit. Oh, wow.
You say it's hard to get
I'm
audio.
still confused. What was the point?
You say it's hard to get audio at things like this. We did it.
So we did get audio.
It's difficult, but we made the most
The
of it.
likes of Gil Gerard.
And we
too.
got Gil Gerard, and we have plenty of audio from the Machete Roundtable.
I
right,
can't wait to hear it.
It's really bang-up
We should
stuff.
take a break so Sam can cut up the rest of the audio.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Exclusive audio from Jim Norton and Sam
And Gil
from
Gerard.
Comic-Con.
How did Gil look?
He didn't look bad.
Yeah.
I only got a photo with him because I wasn't sure if E-Rock had one, and I wanted to hurt him if he didn't. Like, I was hoping it would bother him.
Big fan of Gil Gerard?
I'm sure he is.
Yeah, Gil Gerard looked...
Rogers?
Was he hoping that someone would take a machete to his head
Dude,
while he sat there?
he couldn't have been happy. There were some cool people that we didn't know were going to be there, though. Like, fucking, we're on the... Oh, we have to talk about the party later.
Oh, yeah, we got audio from the Twitter party.
Okay.
wow.
These guys got it under control. We just need the audio to play off. Big Kev, thank you, sir.
All right, see ya.
Bye, buddy.
And if Big Kev.
If you like,
think I sent you that
if you
one.
like stories about LeVar Burton, stay tuned.
LeVar Burton stories?
LeVar Burton stories.
Was
still
he
to
there?
come.
Yeah, somebody was humiliated by LeVar Burton.
When will we have the audio? 10
good
minutes?
I'll get it done during the break.
All right.
Yeah.
So when we get back, we'll start playing some of the audio from Comic-Con. We go to break here with Big Kev's amazing interview with Sam Jackson.
Yes.
This is Big Kev. I'm here with Sam Jackson, talking about snakes on a plane.
Okay.
Go ahead, sir.
What do you want me to say about it?
Tell me everything about it.
Geez, it's it's kind of what it sounds like. You know, it's a bunch of poisonous snakes on a plane full of passengers. us trying to survive, the snakes kind of doing what snakes do, running around killing people. We got great snakes, we got great victims, and we got a really, thrill ride for you if you come and see this thing.
Very good. That's Sam Jackson talking about snakes on a plane.